Last night, Bitcoin survived something that many dubbed as a coup attempt on the entire asset. And the topic in question is the BIP110 proposal, a highly controversial thing. I'm not so sure if the dramatization that Bitcoiners are doing on this subject are appropriate or accurate, but I'm here to share my two Satoshis as it's the talk of the town. It has a direct influence on Bitcoin price action, direct influence on Bitcoin's philosophy, and fundamentals of being a non-corrupt asset that everybody has the ability to use and transact with. So we'll get into why BIP110 was introduced, why it failed last night, and what to look out for in the future. I'll try and keep it as objective as I can. So stick around until the end. We'll even do some Bitcoin price analysis. Make sure to destroy the like button if you enjoyed today's video. Your likes in the bear market have, in my eyes, times 10 the value because now is the bear. Now is the time to accumulate. The bull is a time to take profits. And if we can like the videos, then more and more people will be able to see them, and more people will be able to buy in cheap if they wish to do so. If you subscribe, well, I'm here every day, bull or bear, giving you the latest in price and the latest in news. And today, it will be BIP110. This got introduced in December of 2025. It aimed to eliminate all arbitrary, non-financial data within Bitcoin transactions. I'm referring to NFTs on Bitcoin. It was a trend that began in 2022 and died away in 2024. People could put, and people can still put stuff on Bitcoin on Satoshis, like let's say this yellow NFT, and it will be there. Now, they lost dramatic amounts of value and nobody really cares about this anymore. But the BIP110ers argue that Bitcoin should be maintained as a purely financial focused layer, where the Bitcoin transaction is the only thing that matters. Hence, anything aside from that should be filtered out. And they refer to all the NFTs and inscriptions as spam. Now, the anti-BIP110ers, the majority, only 2.6% at the peak. The miners only showed support at that minuscule percentage, and around 96, 97% are anti-BIP110. The anti-guys say that, well, look, if people want to spend money inscribing an image onto a Satoshi, that's beneficial and it's an extra monetary reward for the miner. If they want to do that, then sure, let them do it. Who cares? And really, the extra storage cost that node operators will have to pay will be like $5 to $10. You're not really increasing the Bitcoin blockchain size by anything so important. It's only a couple of gigabytes. So why not do it? If people are okay to pay the fee and the miners are making more money when this is a hot trend, then sure, let's do it. The only issue is at peak times, it increases the Bitcoin transaction timeframes. Remember with Ethereum when NFTs were being minted left, right, and center, the network got super congested and transactions started taking sometimes even hours. And the fee of running a transaction went up to hundreds of dollars to even sometimes, like at the very peak, it went over $1,000. The BIP110ers are concerned that if that trend was to come around again, then you're hurting Bitcoin. You're hurting Bitcoin's ability to be a solid peer-to-peer cash mechanism. Now you come to the conclusion that you want to, and I'm curious on your opinion in the chat section below. I think both have their rights, their right points. I mean, see, we created, or Satoshi created Bitcoin, but we're all Satoshi, right? But Satoshi created Bitcoin to be a non-governed, non-discriminatory asset that anyone can use in a free market way. So the free market decides what they want to do with Bitcoin or the amount of ownership they want to have. If you start governing and policing, you put that concept of being non-corrupt money, that entire fundamental philosophy at risk. But if you allow it, then you put the peer-to-peer cash system a little bit into risk if these NFT trends come back. So quite honestly, I don't know what to tell you. I think it's a non-issue, so they're trying to create issues out of thin air. My personal opinion, the fact is, a majority do not want it. There was a 55% voting threshold and only 2.6% voted as aye. The Bitcoin tenors are a little bit stubborn. Because there's so much unsupport for it, it creates the risk of a soft fork where a certain pool or a certain group of miners are now not processing, starting September, they will not process transactions that include any inscriptions on them. And if that is the case, in this second fork, or the soft fork, if you want to call it, the block times are ridiculously slow. There's not much of a hash rate distribution into BIP110, but the mining difficulty remains the same. So if there is a less group of miners mining at the same difficulty as the native chain that processes transactions every 10 minutes or so for a couple of dollars, then you're going to take time to reach from transaction to transaction. And they're already super behind the native Bitcoin blockchain. So they're failing. It would need to go through a difficulty adjustment to become a little bit more relevant. But with the current block times, you're looking at 20 to 25 years till that becomes a reality. So there isn't anything to be worried about. Even if it were to become successful, I don't see too big of a worry. It's a debate with no right or wrong answer. I'm concerned with regards to the hash rate. I mean, put everything aside, the hash rates, the GPUs dedicated into Bitcoin mining are falling. GPUs are being attached to AI and the whole AI sector, and they're running away from Bitcoin because Bitcoin is just not providing the return on investment as it did a few years ago. So inscriptions increase the monetary incentive for miners, but then it can create complications. So I'm just here to tell you that today, nothing has changed. Bitcoin is operating as usual. We are fine. And it's something to keep an eye on to observe how it develops. If NFTs become a big thing on Bitcoin, which I really don't think it will be, then BIP110 can gain relevance and successfully soft fork Bitcoin. It could be something that turns into reality. But since it's unlikely and not much support is there as of 2026 August, then we can forget about it and move on with our day as usual. But there you go. The drama in the Bitcoin industry is quite crazy. The price, we're at 65.2. We're bullish. From last night, we went up. We're above the multi-month trend line on the non-log scale. I'm looking forward to the value area high around $67,000. This is the week from a 4-year cyclical analysis point of view. Like, the second week of August is the time to rally. The CPI data comes in on Tuesday, Wednesday. So that will have its influence too. And I want to dive more deep into it on tomorrow's update video. I'll just leave you off with the fact that we're at the 200-week moving average. The 200-week moving average has historically been a fantastic area of accumulation. It doesn't mean that we cannot drop more from here. Data and probability suggests that we do. Like, look at August of 22, for example. You go below the 200-week moving average, you retest it, and then you capitulate into Q4. So far, we've fallen below, we've retested, and if we see the dumpage in 1 week's time, then yeah, we'll be looking at a lower Q4, and we start going up from there. It's not guaranteed. What is guaranteed is the level of discount we're at, 50%. The value of a Bitcoin, how scalable it will be, and the problem we're dealing with, a corrupt financial system. It's accumulated, how much in debt? It has accumulated 39 trillion, 800 billion in non-repayable debt, and Bitcoin saves us from that. It saves us from that. I'll be looking at some trade setups and ideas in 24 hours time. If you want to get a head start and claim a bonus, then I would highly recommend checking out the 2 links in the description for BTCC, where by signing up with your email address and password, you will be eligible for a $1,000 position airdrop. All the profits you make will be for yours to keep. And the second link to Levex, where you will see my live Bitcoin trades, exclusive Bitcoin and other crypto analyses, and get a deposit weekly, get bonus weekly campaign where up to $500 in futures credits can be claimed for all active traders who reach a trading volume target and deposit $2,500 per week. So check that out too. those should set you up with a little bit of an extra amount of gunpowder to set trades and start learning how to become a someone who takes advantage of price volatility. So guys, thank you for watching. Take care, and I shall see you all very soon. Bye-bye.